Since I first started working on a procedural eye, I've gone through many versions to try to find the simplest approach to creating the setup. I think I've gone about as far as I can with it, and as you can see, I've come out with many different results. Now, generally, the basic setup is more or less the same in every case, with minor differences when it comes to detail. So I'm going to show you what I consider the most efficient way to complete the setup. And this should be my last version for now. So to begin, the first thing you want to do is create the geometry that's going to represent your eye. In this case, I'm using a very simple UV sphere. Rotate it 90 degrees on the x-axis. Control A to freeze the rotation. And then, since I'm not too worried about smoothing right now, I'm just going to freeze the scale, by the way. I usually just right click and I choose to shade auto smooth. Now, by default, when you create a sphere, it already has its UVs laid out, which is perfect because we're actually using UVs. So aside from that, I also made a couple of edits, or made a couple of edits to the other examples, where I basically just selected the center, expanded out my selection, Control plus to expand selection, Control minus to reduce. And then I just basically, I scaled it along the Y to make a concave shape, and then pulled it in until basically it was something like this. And then I added an extra edge loop and pulled that forward just to give myself a little bit of a bevel in there and a little concave area for my iris and my pupil to sit in. Okay, so now you want to select your geometry and you want to create a new material on it. And of course, name your material. I'll just call this one my iMat. By the way, if you don't have the shader editor up, let's say you only have the animation timeline visible, just go down, click on the little clock in the upper left-hand corner and choose shader editor. And then just grab the edge and pull it up so you can both see your work area and where you're going to build nodes. Okay, so got my material. It's a handful of nodes, a few less than my original setup, so it should be a bit quicker to build. So Shift A, and we want the UV map node for inputs. Then we need Shift A again, mapping. Input, let's see, we need a separate node. You can start typing sep. And we'll have to separate XYZ. And I'll explain why in a second. And then last but not least, for now, we want the color ramp. Okay, so once you have those four nodes, start making connections. So connect UV to vector. We can set our type for vector. Texture works as well. I usually just use vector. And then we want to feed that vector out to the vector of this separate XYZ. And then we've got our color ramp. I'm going to take the black tab and pull it all the way to the end here, because that's going to be essentially our sort of our pupil or inner iris area, where our lens is going to sit, more or less. Okay, and then we're going to connect, let's say we'll connect the X to the FAC here. Okay, so that should feed a value of 0 to 1. Okay, now let's see what it looks like. So take the color and feed it out to the base color of your shader. Okay, so as we see, we do have some color on there, and we see the same color down here on our plane, so we can see what it's doing. But right now the orientation is not correct because we want it to basically fill in this area right here, which is going to be our iris. So let's try a different axis and try the Y. And so it's the Y. Okay, So X was left to right, and I guess Y is front to back. So there we go. We're good. Now we need to prep for the details. So what I'm going to need is we're going to need a multiply node. So Shift A, and you can type multi. What we actually need is a mixed color node, but I need it in multiply by default. So I'm going to drop that right there. And so that automatically will feed my color into this node. You can set the factor to 1. I'm going to kill the clamp factor. I'm going to put it on clamp result. And that's pretty much ready to receive. I'm going to duplicate that. This new one, I'm going to move this one over here for a second. I'm going to make one more. Shift D to duplicate, by the way. I'm going to change this one to add. Now, you can always go in and play around with the settings on these to see which one of these blending modes is going to yield a different or a better result. But so far, with what I've tried, the multiply and the add modes seem to work the best, at least so far. Okay, now we need a couple of other nodes. Because what we're going to do here is this is going to be our node for essentially the iris color, transition from light to dark to sort of create the illusion of the base background color. So if we want to, we could actually come in and label this as well. So I can call this my iris color, for example. And Shift D, I need a copy of that one. We're going to call this copy. We'll call this in our iris detail, because I'm going to use this one to create essentially detail within our iris. Okay, so next we need a couple other things, but let's see where I can start making connections. So I'm going to take my add result, I'm going to feed it into my multiply that's nearest my shader. Okay, and I'm going to take the color, feed it into the add. Okay, so now I'm going to take my multiply node that's just to this side of the detail. I'm going to feed its result out to the add as well. Okay, and so we're mostly ready. Yeah, so now we're taking our separate and we're feeding it into our other color amp up here. Oops, I think I fed in the wrong one. Okay, there we go. So once again, we're feeding our separate Y out to the FAC of the iris detail. So again, it's putting it in the same position. Okay, so now we need to create a couple of extra textures. Textures we're going to use to help to detail our eye. So create a wave texture, Shift A, and then choose wave texture, Shift A again, and choose noise texture. As an alternative to noise, you could use one of the other textures, but I find that noise is usually good enough for what I need. So we can feed the color from each one into our multiply node. I put the wave on A and I put the noise on B. I don't think you can swap them around if you want to. I don't think it really matters. But as you can see, once it's on there, we're getting sort of striations across the eye, which could be interesting and useful depending on what you're doing. But we want it to also follow the flow of the UVs. So instead of going to our separate, though, we're going to use the mapping. And we're going to go mapping to vector and mapping to vector. Okay, and as you can see, we start to get the detail in the iris that we want. And so we can increase the scale, which is actually going to function to repeat our texture to add a bit more detail. And this is where we just get into refining things and making things look more appealing. Okay, and then in the color and the iris detail, this is where we control how far out that detail affects it, because this iris detail is actually acting as a mask. Its color also has an influence over what we see, but it is also a mask to limit it so we can actually keep all of our details within the iris. And we can also change the color to also influence the appearance, as you can see. But keep in mind, this color is going to be sort of a secondary influence. The underlying color of the iris itself is what's going to determine what it actually looks like.